Welcome
Got it.
everyone to
Hey, everybody.
Factual Action. Today is a special day. I have my big brother, DT, in the house.
DT.
Oh, and the DT, the wealth of knowledge that is going to be passed on today is priceless. I think we'll go ahead and let him introduce himself as he would like to be, and then we'll get right into it.
Okay. Well, like Wayne said, I'm his brother. It's my dad. Man, I graduated college a long time ago. I'm an old head. So I graduated May of '04. I've been working for in the brokerage industry since then. Right now, I kind of do some financial risk work. So I love it. Been doing it for a long time. Feel like I'm pretty good at it. So, but anyway, you guys have some questions for me. So let's go ahead and get started. What you got?
Well, let me start. I'm coming. So you're trying to be modest over here. You know what I'm saying? I seen the life you live and the money you talk about. So don't sit up there and try to like sweep it under the rug like you went balling at a period of time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So but at the same time, the real thing was when I talked to Baba about this was the fact that the success that you gained was not through the education you received going to college. Is this correct?
No, the education basically just showed employers that I had the ability to learn. But no, I didn't learn anything that I do now through college. So, I mean, it's the truth. I graduated with a degree in general studies with a focus in organization development. So it's like business oriented, but I don't use any of that now. So it was just so much that college didn't teach me. I wish honestly they would have taught me how to, balance a checkbook for us old heads to know what that is. Or just credit or something like that. That would have been more beneficial than a lot of things that I did learn. But no, it did not prepare me for what I do now.
Did it? I mean, did it even prepare you for the financial debt that college is?
Hmm.
No.
Well,
No.
thank you so long. There.
Wow.
No, I mean, they encourage you to take out, school loans and things like that. And I don't believe there was a lot of promoting for like a lot of other scholarships. Like they had like so many different scholarships that people don't apply for, like multicultural scholarships and things like that. I felt like a lot more education on that type of thing would have helped me stay out of debt. So
But
thank
you was a runner, right? You had a scholarship. How did
I
that?
did. I did, but
Uh,
I didn't have a full
Hmm.
ride, on day one.
okay,
Oh.
I had to earn
okay.
that. So yeah,
Oh,
Mm.
yeah, I
they
earned
don't
that
mention
like
that in the
halfway.
brochure.
No, but no, I'd say about halfway through my college career is when I finally earned the full ride.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and what did that entail? So I mean, I heard tell that you racing people like Maurice Green to get this done full ride. Is that true?
I did meet Morris Green. I raced a lot of Olympians.
Yeah.
I raced a lot of Olympians. A lot of the guys that I saw on TV, I did race. But no, I had
Wow.
the year that I
Y'all
earned
hear
my
that,
full ride.
folks? Wait, hold on. Y'all hear that, folks? I told y'all,
Wow.
modest man over here. He was racing Olympian, so we got a real DT is a real deal over here. His introduction of himself does not even compare to who this person is. So yeah, you was racing Olympians. Continue.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
so I say at my peak, I ranked 25th in Division One, and
Wow.
that's when I earned my full ride. So, but that's what it took, So,
Wow.
but yeah,
So did that leave you time for a job or actually getting some education, or were you training?
you talk about in college?
Yeah.
No, I didn't have time for a job. I mean, it depended on the time of the year. Normally, in the early part of the year, we had tool days where we had to, be up and ready to run at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then we had practice at 2:30 in the afternoon. And by the time that was
Mm.
all said and done, man, I had just enough time to maybe catch the cafeteria before they closed. So I had like maybe an hour to eat.
Well,
Definitely
I
not
know.
time for a job.
Since we're saying you had at the full ride point, you know what I'm saying, we still gotta say you in college. This is higher education. I mean, I would see that, you know, we promote a healthy mind craves a healthy body. Now I gotta understand that your body had to be at its limit. How could your mind function? I mean, were you able to like get a good education and still be able to run?
Yeah, I say in fact the athletic program helped me better prepare for the burden
What?
of the whole. Yeah, because you had to, you know, track and field is not an easy sport, you know.
Well, it's
You got to
not.
go out and run like 10 400-meter, you know, runs in the practice every day. You have to have a certain level of, you know, mental strength and endurance for that. And so that translates over well to having to stay up all night and prepare for final exams, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of other projects we have to do.
Wow, man, that seemed like, oh man, that sounds like a lot. I'm sorry, I ain't mean to bombard you. I haven't talked to you in a while, DT. So I had to throw the question. So let me let the other people get to know you and ask some questions, man.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh wow! I mean, wow, track and field. You had to earn that full ride. That's interesting. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you competing against Maurice Green. You gotta earn this.
Yeah. Well, I didn't compete against him, but he came to a lot of the meets and I had a chance to meet him. So he ran a different event than I did, but I raced against people that raced him. So it didn't matter.
Other people that lost.
Yeah.
He's just fast.
Oh, man. Oh, okay. Hey, Bob, you over there silent? You ain't got, you know, this. You got. How often you get to grill DT? You know.
No, man, I'm so proud. You know, to be on a international program with two of my sons. I'm just a proud doting papa right now. And a good part of this, what David did, you know, I was a part of that. And I know how he worked really hard, especially those first 2 years of school, to make it. And I'm actually a father that talked with an agent that wanted to represent David, and the money and all of that he was talking was well over my head. So for David to go into, you know, I just believe the Creator has a plan for us, and what my son David needed for the journey in his life, you know, not only was it college, but it was his what he learned in track. And I have to say that too, you know, for my younger son, he learned some things that he's not willing to admit, but he learned them because he had to go through something. So what you earn are the things that you appreciate the most, I believe. So
that's a good belief.
Today.
Yeah.
Yesterday, guys, today. I have some questions for my son in the course of this, because I really don't know the answer to it. And I think he will be able to answer these questions for me. And I've got questions for Chris, and I've got questions for Dwayne as well. So I'm going to send it around the board. You know, I've been really
you getting ready,
toning up for this broadcast today. So I'm in the mix. I'm in the midst. Just give me a couple minutes to be proud. Okay.
Hey, you know, I'm available, you know what I'm saying, all the time, you know what I'm saying. Whenever you're ready to come at me, you know, I'm always ready. Unless I got too much selenium in me, I'm ready, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, some other things. But so DT, let me ask this. So I don't want to really be personal about it, but I know that for me on the outside looking in, there was a point in time where your finances were not great.
Right.
And that turnaround that you did is what I want to emphasize on really. I think that's where your expertise lies when I called you on the show, because for what you were telling me and describing me, you overcame something that the majority have not, cannot, and will not do. So I think that part of that is you know what I'm saying, dire, you know what I'm saying, to this, because it's just so vital. I'm just wondering, how far can I go back into that to set the scene for the financial trouble?
You can go back as far as you want. So I'm a
All
pretty
right.
I'm an open book. So
Yeah.
Look.
So gentlemen, if y'all don't mind, I'll go ahead and start. I know y'all, everybody got questions. I just don't want to bogart the time. You know what I mean? But if it's okay, I like to start with the financial things of where in this aspect. So from what I saw from the outside, being your brother, was that you had a female, someone that you loved or felt you loved or thought they loved you, that put you into a financial situation. I would like for you to explain, however you want to, however vaguely, however deeply, about what kind of financial spot where you were right there, what, after college?
Yeah, but you
yeah,
don't have to call names. Don't call names.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna
There you
mention
go,
names.
holding your hand again, but that's all right. But that's okay. Anyway,
No.
continue.
Yeah, so I'd say about a week after I graduated, I got married, and I'd say we divorced, and that divorce left me with a little bit of debt, and it took some years to kind of pay it off and get things back on track. But yeah, that debt did kind of affect my credit and things like that a little bit.
You said a
But
little bit of debt. What's a little bit of debt? Because you so modest, you know. Let's get a
I mean, I say it was probably about $7,000. It wasn't much, but for me at the time, being a
fresh out
recent,
of college.
yeah, it was much different than it is now, you know. So,
Oh, wow.
but
Yeah.
And what year was
yeah,
this?
it's
The
like
year matters.
2000,
Like
2007.
so we talking about $7,000 back in 2007 when a dollar was worth maybe 75 cents. I'm like,
Yeah, it's
what's
like,
worth now? So
Give or take.
give or take. So
yeah,
yeah, inflation is an amazing thing. But you about 7,000 in debt. What about credit? Was that complete debt, or was that just money owed minus credit cards, or
that was complete debt.
complete?
I'm sorry.
Seven.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
your degree landed you a job where?
Like my first job, or like what I do now?
No, not what you do now. I'm saying at the time that you had this
Oh
7,000
man,
on top of you, you know what I'm saying?
I was working at Fry's Electronics selling TVs, and I wasn't a good salesman. So I was basically just making like the base pay, which is like $6.50 an hour.
So you owe
Living
7,000.
wage.
You gotta have a place to stay. If I'm not mistaken, you had an apartment. So that's
I did.
7,000 that you owe. And we ain't talking about reoccurring bills. I'm pretty sure what? Car note?
I had a truck at the time. Yeah.
You had a truck. Okay. So you had a place to stay. So your apartment,
Bills. Yeah.
electricity, utilities with the
And
7,000.
and school loans. I still had some
And
school loans at the time. Yeah.
and you still have some student loans. And we gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. And at $7 an hour, you managed it. You here and you big timing now. So, bro, come on, get up off with it. Let us hear it, bro. Come on,
Man. Most people don't make it this far.
Hey,
Well,
DT used to have one of the coldest Mercedes you ever seen, man. I mean, he went way past. Dude, but Well, anyway, continue. DT, come on, drop them secrets, man. What is it, bro?
Man.
No, I just realized that I didn't want that debt no more. I just got tired of it. And so I think the Lord actually ended up getting I worked for a mortgage company, a subprime mortgage company for a few years, but then of course we had that whole mortgage crash.
07,
around that time when I was going through all that too. And so in fact, I'd say within 2 weeks of me and my ex splitting, I also lost my job at that mortgage company. And so then I wrecked my truck. So
yeah, the 1500, the F-150, the F-150, T-bone, right?
Yeah. This lady ran a stop sign. So, but
wow.
Yeah. But I ended up this company ended up, it was actually a temp agency. They reached out to me, asked me if I wanted to be a stockbroker, and I was like, a stockbroker? What do you mean? I don't know about stocks. And so they introduced me to the company that I spent about 10 years with, learning about the market. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to just do this for a few weeks. I'm going to get back into the mortgage industry, and I stuck with it. I'm doing it today. So, it was there that I really learned the importance of having like financial health. When you're a stockbroker and you're looking at all these clients with millions of dollars in their accounts, and then you have to have conversations with thousands of them. You just, at some point, you just kind of learn. It's like, man, I got to get this stuff in order. So I started working on my credit. I say the first thing that I did, I took out like a secured credit card. It was the fastest way to boost my credit. And so it's really easy. All you do is you put down like a down payment of like $300 to $500, and that'd be your credit card limit. And I used no more than 10% of that at a time. 10 to 30%. And, I would just use it for gas and things like that. Then I would pay it off. And I'd say within less than a year, I'd increased my score by like 100 points, and they converted that secured credit card to a regular credit card. And so that was that with my credit. And then I just started putting money back. So in the beginning, it was just a little bit, and ultimately I was able to do more.
Well, hold on. So what did you do with the credit card when they gave it back? You know what I mean? When you got from the secured to the credit card, did you cut that thing up? Did you use it? What happened with that?
Well, I still have the account.
I do.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things that affects your credit the most is the age of your credit history, and so that's the main reason why I keep that account open. So
it's got 20 years in it, huh?
It's got a while, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, 13. Okay. Cool.
It built up. Okay.
I remember your Uncle Jack, God rest his soul, showed me a credit card that was 30 years old, and he never used it. I mean, he got the prepaid card at a limit of like $200 back in 1970, and he showed it in his office one day out there. He said, I've had this for like 30 years now. I said, man, 30 years. I said, how much you? He said, nothing. After I, did what I did, I just kind of stuck it in the floor and never used it after that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
I have the account, but I don't like debt. So, even when I do put something on it, I pay it off pretty quickly. So, I mean, I've got a high credit limit, but I don't generally carry more than like $500 on it. So
I usually hear a lot about that. If you start with a credit card and build up your credit from there, as long as you pay the bills on time.
I'm sorry, say that. My dog's barking.
I heard a lot of that. A lot of times, like if you get like a secured credit card and pay off on time with the bills, and you'll build up your credit score from that. I've been hearing that a lot lately.
Yeah, big time, especially with a secured credit card. That's the fastest way I know of boosting your credit real quick. So Yeah.
So Bob, yeah, Bob, go ahead and get that announcement. You do it the best. We here at Factual Actual promote doing what?
Oh, you know.
Ain't gonna say it.
Okay, say it now.
Okay, I'll say it then. You could do it better, but I'll try. Let's see. So here at Factual Actual, DT states that getting a secured credit card and paying it off on time is one of the fastest ways to increase your credit. Is that accurate, DT?
That is, but you can't use like the full balance of the credit card. You don't use no more than 10 to 30% of the available balance.
And pay it off on time.
Yeah, definitely.
But we got to say it all, you know what I'm saying? Then, but I back it, Factual Actual back. We believe there's some that is factual that you actually need to help increase your credit score.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let DT explain it to you one more time what you need to do.
Okay, with the secured credit card, the way it works is you'll put down a balance, and whatever balance you put down is going to be your credit limit. So if you put down a $500 deposit, you're going to have a $500 credit limit. Now it's going to affect your credit just like a traditional credit card, but you don't want to use no more than 10 to 30% of the available balance. You start to use more than that, it can actually affect you in a negative way. Okay, so you'll use 10 to 30%, and then ultimately you pay that on time. You know, over a certain period of time, they'll convert it to a traditional credit card. So
there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is.
And you do the same thing even with the traditional.
All right.
I was going to say, is there a preferred card, secured card that people can use that is more preferable, you know, to use the 10, 20, 30%?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I just went with the bank that I bank with. I bank with Wells Fargo, so I just went with theirs, and you know, it was good for me. So I didn't do a lot of research into the secured credit cards at the time.
Oh my goodness! Look. People up there with crosses and stuff. You said Wells Fargo, the devil.
Ooh, that place.
Yeah. Okay. So I thank you so much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let the other gentlemen here get some questions in on you, because I do feel like I'm Bogart a little bit. So I'm definitely not. So I'm gonna back off a little bit and let these other gentlemen get their questions in, sir. Love you, bro.
Yeah, man.
I've got, how long did it take you to pay off your student loan debt? Everything that's associated with your degree, how long did it take you to pay off? Guess at it. You may not be. You can guess at it.
Well, I graduated in May of 2004. So I was like 23 years old. I didn't finish paying it off until I was about 30. So yeah, about 6.5 years.
6.5 years.
Yeah.
To pay off. And that was only for the first couple of years of school.
Right. Yeah. It adds up fast. And that was then. Now it's even more expensive. So
which is where I'm going with that here in 2020, 21, about to be 22.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a series of questions to see how you feel. But ultimately, I'm going to get someplace and ask you a question, and that is a college education today affordable? Be honest.
It's definitely not as affordable as it was when I went to school. When I went to school, 15 hours was $1,500. Now, that was just for the classes. You still had to pay $500 for your books. And then a dorm, you know, with a meal plan was like another $1,000 to $1,500. So now it's a lot more expensive than that. I don't know what it's going for now, but I know it's a lot more than that. I know about it. Those are the rates when I entered college. I started my college career in 1999. But by the time I graduated, it was double that. And that was in 2004. So
well, in 1981, my my room, board, tuition was $800.
Everything. Wow.
Wow.
So
No, that was my books.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show everybody listening why certain things are a certain way. The cost of an education is astronomical.
Yeah.
And David, if your parents aren't rich or wealthy, then can you go to college without taking out loans and things like that? Can you work a job and go to school and pay those bills? I mean,
guess
can you pay for your school?
It's not like it used to be, but I guess it depends on where you're going to school. You know, if you're going to like a Baylor, TCU, SMU, even UNT, probably not. I mean, you can maybe make it work. I know
for that.
Right. When I went to school, there were people that were able to do that. They worked full time and went to school full time. Now I don't really know if that's very feasible.
Okay, and that year when you did, what year did you enter college?
1999.
1999. Okay. Now a lot of years have passed since 99. A whole lot of years have passed since 1981. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I want to ask you a question. It's a moral question, and that is, should someone spend the rest of their lives after they finish college paying on their student loan? Is that fair? We live in the richest nation in on earth, you know. Contrary to what people believe they hear China is richer, but no, not really. When you get down to the real brass tacks of it. For this nation, should a person graduating from college look forward to paying off student loan debt until they die? Is that fair, you think?
No, I wouldn't say that's fair. And I believe the current, you know, presidential administration is actually trying to tackle some of those issues. But maybe to some extent, I know they've got some student loan forgiveness and things like that talks in the works, but I haven't really looked into that. But no, I don't believe that you should spend the rest of your life paying off school debt. Now, I think there are some things that you can do. I don't know if, you know, it's really easy for a lot of college students to graduate college debt free. But, you know, you can, it all depends on the type of work that you can get. But if you're young, I mean, what type of work are you expected to receive, right? And what type of income you're expected to make? There's some things that you can do to limit how much you owe. And, you know, if you're willing to work during college, you can, you know, limit how much you're going to have to pay back. I mean, it's things like that you can do, but I mean, and then also choosing the right degree. You might want to, you know, be wise and do your, you know, due diligence and making sure, you know, what type of income are you realistically expecting to make with what you graduate with. So, you know, those are some things that, you know, you may want to look into. But no, I wouldn't say it's fair for someone to have to work the rest of their lives paying off school debt.
I go on the record, you know, for everybody listening, a college education is just way too high. It's just way too high.
Let me put some
people living in this country.
Yeah, let me put some numbers on it for y'all right quick. So I happen to pull it up, you know, and they got a nice little chart, you know, for a base college education in 1999. I looked at it, room, board, and all, you know what I'm saying, was $19,000. That was the base. Once you get into a 4-year university studies and other 4-year degrees, it gets astronomical. So the last record they got is 2007. By 2007, it was 30,000. You know what I'm saying? And that was the base. I'm not going into any of the 4-year colleges or your Yales or nothing. This is just for you to go to any old random, run-of-the-mill college. You was going to be out $19,000 in debt. You know what I'm saying? For somebody paying. I just wanted to throw the facts in there. You know what I'm saying?
The college I went to was one of the more affordable colleges in the DFW area. And I had a friend that graduated and she went all on loans. And yeah, she graduated with about $33,000 in school debt in 2007.
2007. And that's a public university. You went to a public university.
I went to a public. Right. So it's even more expensive if you're going to, one of the schools that.
Example.
UT, Texas A&M.
Wait a
Baylor.
minute. We ain't forgetting about, gentlemen. This loan is incurring fucking interest on it. On top of that.
Oh my God! Right. Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to get out of them. It's real hard to get out of them.
It never goes away because then they sell the loan to someone else. I'm going to say this, just private. One of my children, or a couple of my children, actually went to a private university. And I had a successful, as my son can tell you, I had a very successful barber career. I was a barber. I can say I lived in a lake house over the lake, and I can say that I looked out of my 2-story lake house and saw fish jumping up in the lake. I can say that. I had a very successful barber career. A private university changed all that for me.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that. The amount of money that I had to come out of pocket with a child that had scholarships was over and above. It took all the money of my successful shop. So we went back to, as a family, struggling again, as if I was working my way through barber school. And I worked 3 jobs, as David can tell you, for 30 years, probably why I'm so broke down now. But I'm just saying, I don't think that's right. I really don't think that's right. Private university, they're going to charge what they want to. They have the right, they're private. But a public university, it shouldn't cost that. It shouldn't cost that much. And if a private university gets any help from the government, then it shouldn't get all those breaks and stuff if they're charging people a premium on the education, and yet they still get these things. So I morally, I just think it's morally wrong for a kid or young man or woman coming out of college. I can see if you had to borrow, which you shouldn't have to borrow for that, but if you have to borrow, 5-6 years should pay it out. But that's not the case. The cost of education has skyrocketed, and there's a reason why it has skyrocketed. But the cost of a public education has skyrocketed, and it all falls on the student. So I'm going to say I don't think it's right either.
I agree 100%. That's not right. You get a student loan and you got to pay for the rest of your life. That makes no sense. It's like they offer it to you and they tell you, hey, you need to get a student loan and this is supposed to help you and get this, but you turn around and have to pay for the rest of your life.
That's like the mafia, man. Borrowing money from the mafia. You'll never pay it off.
Yeah.
See, I guess for me, you ain't really got to get me but one good time for me to let you go. And I was gonna go to college, and I actually got because I was going to college, I got a credit card. I ended up not going to college because I didn't really feel like it was the right. I didn't feel like the money that was going to be on my parent was the right thing to do, to be honest, because I wasn't going to do nothing but go out there and party. I knew I wasn't going to go get an education, and I didn't think it was right. So I didn't. So I opted not, but I kept the credit card. It didn't have but a $500 credit limit on it. By the time me and the credit card company was cussing each other out about this money, it was over $3,000, and it only had a $500 limit. And I had possession of the credit card, got it cut off, stopped it, and that shit. I think when it stopped, it was at like $700 was a limit or whatever, and I ended up with them $3,000 for nothing. The end payment for me to get them off my back was $3,000 on something that started at $500, and the balance on it when I stopped was $700, and they just started tacking money on tax. They didn't care. But once I got that off my back and I got them $3,000 off my back, do you think I got another credit card? Nah. That's just me though. You know what I mean? Because you did me dirty like that. That means I'm in a game I can't win. So I ain't gonna play, you know.
And why is that legal? You know, that's another thing
because the person that make the credit cards makes the damn laws. That's why.
I mean, when I really look at it and I think about it, when I went to college, they gave us free credit cards and told us to run that motherfucker up any way you can.
I bet it wasn't free.
No, they came back and like, I need that money back. You know,
free credit card.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like the credit cards I ended up getting my first credit card. They were just giving out free sandwiches because they knew we were all hungry, you know.
Right.
And so, so that's how I ended up, you know, getting my first credit card and getting into my first bit of financial debt was over a sandwich. I
was hungry. and you know this, you know where I'm there's a lot of stages, but ultimately it makes the rich richer.
Yeah.
You know, poor people. Let me just say my definition of poor, okay? Jesus said the poor you will always have, and it's a reason, because you'll always have rich people. As long as there's rich people, there are going to be poor people. If you go into financial ruin because you missed a week of work or a month of work, or you get laid off and you don't go to work in 3 months. If you are facing financial ruin, you're poor. Even though you work every day and you work really hard and you do everything right, if something should happen, if there was a true middle class now, that emergency will not bankrupt you. But you're finding now people who make very good salaries, they still live from paycheck to paycheck. And if you look at what they have the basic. You're going to have a mortgage. You're going to have a dependable car. You know, you're going to have daycare. You're going to have utilities. You're going to have these things. And if you have something that is basically, you know, basically nice, a lot of people who have those comfortable salaries, they still require their both parents to have to work, okay, to maintain. And then one of them better not get any hospital bills, okay? Even with insurance, there are families that have gone into bankruptcy because of their medical bills. That's why they relaxed the penalty on medical expenses for people against their credit, because all it took was one parent getting sick and that was it. So
yeah,
you're poor if you are just one paycheck away from ruin.
It's
So,
true. Yeah.
Can I interject? Can I
Yes.
interject? I got this question. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris. You were about to say something.
Well, no, I just said agreed. I mean, it makes sense because that's how we living right now. It's like, if say I missed a month of work and it's like, shit, I can't take care of this. It's not a problem right now, but I'm just saying, it makes sense to me.
A lot of people actually are one paycheck away from that financial ruin. It doesn't matter what it looks like on the outside. My career, I've seen a lot of people that have on the outside had big homes, boats, really nice cars and things like that, and even good credit. But I also knew something called a bankruptcy score. And what that was a measurement of the financial ruin that individual can go into if they were to miss a payment on things. And there were a lot of people that had those really bad bankruptcy scores. I mean, you can go on social media, you can see all the type of stuff they had. I saw a guy that had a plane one time and had a really bad bankruptcy score. Yeah.
Wow.
And so,
You on a plane, you on bankruptcy score.
What do they say? More money, more problems. So, more money people make, the more they spend. So,
Well,
Yeah,
we could spend all day talking about the inequities that exist, but
well,
we're gonna keep it to the financial part of it. Go ahead, son.
so back to the financial part of this. So I want to ask you, I want to ask DT, somebody that I feel like is a very successful young man that's out there doing things and know the financial game. I'm going to ask you. I feel as though you're matter of fact, I know you're an expert, to be honest with you. You're an expert in your field. So here's the question. Is the American dream reality? Or is it just a figment of our imagination?
It's not the same reality that it used to be. That's for sure. I mean, you can just tell by the way that home prices and things like that have moved in just the last year. I don't know what it's like in Germany, but over here it's insane. I mean, a lot of people are priced out of the ability to be able to buy their first home. That's part of the American dream, isn't it? So
Yeah.
unless you got $300,000, it's gonna be kind of hard to, get into some of these homes.
Over the life of your mortgage is a whole lot more than $300,000.
Woo.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's ridiculous. Why is it in this country, medicine is at a very expensive, carries a very expensive price tag. And that's even with the insurance. But you can go just across the border and get that same drug 300 times less. But it's the same drug and is made by the same company. See, there are things that exist inside this country that are jaded. I mean, that are unfair to people that have to go to work every day. Throughout the pandemic, we find that the top 1%, they didn't lose any money. In fact, they made almost $2 trillion off of this.
40 million billionaires
have lost their jobs forever in certain fields,
right,
as a result of this pandemic. We're not going to even go back and talk about what took place in 2008 because
the housing market.
Talk about that. And 2001 is too far back, but I know what I experienced in 2001. So the cards are against most people anyway. The thing is, the people who have and the people who have not. And the people who have need those that have not, working every day, producing so that they stay rich and opulent, and you're working, paycheck to paycheck, and both parents having to work, to make ends meet. And after Roosevelt, in the 30s, 40s, right on the heels of the stock market crash, the economy was set up the same way it is now. And that is corporations run the country. Corporations buy politicians, and they have bought the government. And we are an oligarchy, just like other countries are, like Russia, Power is power in the is rest in the hands of these few corporate leaders. Okay, that I'm on my soapbox. I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
Please.
Roosevelt, with the New Deal, created what is called a middle class, where if you look at the old black and white shows, you see dad goes to work in the morning, mom stays at home, and a lot of times mom has a maid that comes in, okay? And all this was done on one salary. We had a middle class for the first time. Those of us that have pigment in our skin and are of color in this country, nothing really changed for us. We still, both parents had been working in our families, since slavery, and that didn't affect us. So people of color made more money, but it cost people of color more money. So it's not like they improved. They had other avenues that they did not have before. But I don't know, after my kid went to college, I never was able to save any money after that, and I had a nice savings account. The money in it. I wasn't able to. I used up all of it, and I never was able to save again.
That was good.
I just want to throw this out here. Not that Germany is the greatest thing in the world, but I do want to point this out. If my child is smart enough and they opt to take a 13th year of school, I don't have to pay for their college.
Exactly.
Because they're smart enough and they got the drive and they want to go to school, they can. And they'll even give them a place to stay, all that, because they won't higher-minded youth. You know what I mean? That's just, that's what I get from.
At 14, 15, right?
At 16, I think you get the option if you're going to do the 13th year. And you actually graduate in Germany at 17.
Right. I mean, their system is
and
a lot better than ours.
Well, let me ask you this, Dwayne Jr. and Chris. What about your health care? What's it like in Europe?
Oh,
you want to go, Dwayne?
Yeah, let me go. I know. So from the outside of the healthcare system, it's fabulous, to be honest with you. It come out your check. Your employer pay for your healthcare, to be honest with you. You get this, you get this exorbitant check and they go and tax the living crap out of it, but what's left is what you can live off of. Most people don't drive old cars around here and stuff. We Americans the ones that drive the old ones. If they got an old car, it's a classic. On the so on the outside, it looks like a pretty good system, but the healthcare system starts breaking down once you get on the inside of it. Of course, you know what I'm saying. You gotta understand that without any concern of that, they don't get to choose, but they gonna lose 30. It's still gonna be like 30% of their pay is gonna go to healthcare, and it's also gonna go. It's also gonna go to my son's healthcare if I didn't have a job, which I love, but it sucks at the same time because some people are milking the system. And that's where you get to the issues, you know what I'm saying, where people are not putting in, but they reaping all the benefits for it. So people do get upset about it. But the initial plan and how it's set, you know what I'm saying, it's pretty solid, you know. Your employer, you know what I'm saying, pays you well. They take out for all these you know, healthcare and some other taxes and stuff. And then you left with something that you're gonna be able to eat off of and put gas in your car. And the gas is high as all outdoors, but people still travel and go do what they want to do, you know. So it's also it's interesting that the doctors, specialty doctors, are rich over here, you know, plastic surgeons and specialists, but your average doctor is living just like you because that's not special to save lives. You know, the person that taught the doctor how to save lives get all the money. So they pay the teachers as opposed to paying the doctor, which I think makes a lot of logical sense, you know. So that's one of the main things about the healthcare system over here that I find is different, is that these doctors don't be in there trying to milk you for nothing. They be trying to, they you know what I'm saying? They trying to, it's a plus and a minus. They trying to get you in and out of there, but they ain't finna sit in there and concoct some shit on you so they can make some money. That's not what they're gonna do because they can't. That's the system don't let them do that. So that's the up. The down is that you could be really, really hurting and you need some time, and they still trying to push you out the door because, you know what I'm saying, they ain't really making no money off this. You know what I mean? So that would be my take on the medical over here, you know.
I mean,
Okay, you got a choice. You want healthcare like it is here, or you could choose either one that you want. Which would you choose in healthcare? You
see. So to be honest with you, now you're giving me the illusion of choice, because neither one of them are a good option. I don't believe in either one.
Because for us, you know, we got the German system, which it works for my wife and my daughter, which I'm like, yeah, that was part of the reason why I came to Germany. I was like, it'll be good for my daughter. She's got healthcare that's actually worth the damn, you know what I'm saying? But for me and you, Dwayne, we of course we got the healthcare through our jobs, but we also got the VA that's supposed to be taking care of us at the same time too, even though we know how that system works. I mean, it's an up and down system within itself, you know?
Well, so the thing I'm trying to say is that when we get to start talking about the healthcare system, I don't really believe in any of it because of the poisons that they push. I am a person that is down with this nature thing, you know what I'm saying? And I believe in getting, so if they ain't provide me something that came from the earth that's actually gonna help me and heal me, I ain't gonna say that I'm for it. So I can't say I'm from the American other German system because at the end of the day, they still pushing petroleum-based medication, oil and you know, pesticide, all kind of stuff in there, claiming that medicine, you know, it'll do this, but it's gonna do that too, type thing, you know. So no, so I'm gonna say I'm not gonna pick either one. That's picking the lesser two evil pops. So I'm not, that's the only reason of course the German system, the way it's set up, is better than the American system, but I personally ain't gonna say either one will work for them because it ain't neither one of them helping people. That's my problem with
it. It's been
and that was probably really an unfair question to ask of you. So let's bring it back to where we're going. Healthcare you've got to have. And most people who make comfortable livings are going to have health insurance. And they're going to pay well for health insurance. Okay. So then again, you lose your job. Where's your health insurance go? You know,
here in Europe,
we have here the affordable, you know, we have that, but that's a fairly recent creation. That wasn't always the case.
Yeah.
You lost your job, you lost your insurance, and I pray you don't get sick.
Well, see, I will say that go another up for over here in Europe, because that's exactly why you get taxed like that. So if somebody does come on hard times, guess what? That system is set up that regardless if you got a job or not, your child ain't gonna be sit up there and get sick and die and shit because you ain't got no health care.
Exactly.
That's just right, man.
That's just right. Until they 18 years old, regardless of how messed up their mama is, they can still go get, now the parents are a little bit different. But the children, shit, yeah, they can still go to you can still take your sick child to the hospital and they will receive care. And that shit don't happen in the United States. I remember I had strep. Look, I remember I had strep. Look, we was in there for like 4 hours. My damn strep damn near cured itself while I was in the hospital. We was there so long. Man, I was in there in misery and pain. You just every time I swallowed. And we in the hospital. But you know, I was at the counter. I was at the free spot because what I'm saying, because of that insurance thing,
That's what I'm saying. It's better for me to be here for my daughter. It's just in case I didn't have a job on the state side, she's still gonna get taken care of. I have to agree with that. I have to.
Well, the reason education, the reason why. We're going to follow this down. First of all, you shouldn't be paying. It's morally wrong to pay for, your education the rest of your life. And I'm not talking about, brain surgeons and, those that you have to be in school extended period of time, but you make unlimited amount of money. You have to pay more. Right. That was really true. We're just talking about for the average, right here in the middle somewhere. Okay. One reason why students have to pay so much is because of the cost that the colleges have. I'm speaking of public colleges, public schools, and we all know around the world, man, that the college education, the basic college education, if you are college material and you want to go to college, it should be just like going to high school. There's money enough for that. We waste 2 times, 3 times on one thing that could do all this for us. There's no reason why you should even have college debt. But okay, the funding through legislation over the last, 20 years have allowed for there to be less and less money that states have to put into their public schools. So college costs have gone up, but that's because state governments have pulled away a lot of the money that they were giving to the public schools. Why? Because over the last 20, 25 years, regulations have been thrown out that came into place since FDR. The regulations and the regulations on stock market, banking, and corporations have pretty much gone away, and they can do anything that they want to, just like they did in 2000, what led to 2008. And because states have less money to put in their public schools, because they have to pay for something else, law enforcement. Yeah.
Hey, Pop, don't. You've been in. I just don't want you
to pay so much money. And I'm just saying, this is a moral issue. When it comes to rich and poor, yes, it's a moral issue, not a financial issue, not a secular issue. It's a moral issue. A person should be able in this wealthy society to get the adequate health care that they need and the education that they need. And they should be able, so should an emergency happen, take off work and not go into financial ruin. That's all I'm saying. I think that's a moral issue. And when you talk about moral, I want to get into that discussion because I'm all about moral and spirituality.
Oh, all day then.
Yeah.
So go ahead. It's me. Okay, so a moral. So if we was talking to this morally, you know what I'm saying? Nothing. We're talking about a Western system here. I mean, if you trying to put the Westerners and Moors in the same sentence, it's impossible. They don't. It can't coexist. So nothing about this is more. I haven't seen nothing. There's nothing moral about the justice system. There's nothing more about the Senate. There's nothing moral about the House. There's nothing moral about New York City. Look, anything
California.
there's nothing more in the government that so-called controls us. That sets the funding for the colleges, for the education, for the roads. Look at your roads lately. They keep taking taxes, but do your roads keep getting better? I mean, look, from start to finish, tell me something more. Somebody got to give me something more because I can't come up with it. Anybody got something more with what they do?
In a society where the mantra, the creed, the essence is to make a profit, man, that's just like, having artificial intelligence. At some point, it's going to take over because it's just logical to do. Well, if your guiding principle of your country's government and economics is make a profit, then that leaves no room for morality because making a profit is going to always outweigh what is right, what is wrong. When what is right is to make a profit by any means necessary, then there cannot be morality. And I say that because we got about 5 minutes left on that.
Okay. So hold on, let me ask. So David, you're like probably one of the most spiritual young men I know, and you definitely held the faith better than your little brother could ever possibly even think about. When we talk about the morals of what you went through as far as college and making your way, do you find any morality in that system that you came up in? Do you think there's some more value in there, or do you think it's cool, like just a bad and evil system?
Which specific system are you referring to? Are you talking about?
So we got the educate. I mean, starting from the education that you received, do you think it was? Do you think that they morals were in check? You know what I'm saying, for how you received the education you received that you technically didn't really use,
as it relates to the financial.
As it relates to the financial, we're talking about this debt you incurred, student loans and stuff, for the education you received. Do you think that was morally adequate, I guess?
I mean, no. I mean, moral adequate.
Knowing that you did get out and you didn't really use your degree, you went somewhere else to actually be successful. And we know of countless other people's. And considering you was fortunate enough to have the drive to get 2 of your years not. So you thinking about somebody, what you said, she was like 30-some thousand. Do you think that's morally right for her to come out of college already having 30,000 on her head?
I don't think it was right. I mean, the whole moral injection thing, that's kind of what I'm kind of confused on. Like, I mean, it obviously wasn't right, but when I think of moral, I always go back to like the sin nature of things. So I don't know how you would apply like the sin nature to like
this.
this.
Okay, like
let's
this.
just say moral. When we talk about moral, we talk about right and wrong. Okay.
Well, hold on. Check this out, Pop. All right. So, David, what I'm saying is that's one person you know. Think about this as a society as a whole, for the betterment of our for our nation, for our civilization, for our culture, for our people, for our melanated ones, for everything. This is a moral thing, and for us to get higher education. Do you think that this is morally right that they are pricing us out of education? Can you imagine having, this was back in 2007, having $33,000 in debt over your head? Is this shit morally right? That's what I'm saying.
For an education, just so education, you can tell an employer, which you're not using anything you learned, but it tells your employer that you have the ability to learn. I mean, I've got to spend $300,000 just to tell you I can learn.
I don't like the system, but I believe. I don't like the system, but I believe it's the motivation behind it that I would maybe say is morally wrong. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, so, it does.
It does.
Yeah,
I mean, because there are, certain areas of the country or the world where they do handle that same system better. Because I even believe, like, even in New York, and I don't know how you feel about New York, but if I recall correctly, they do have, or they were talking about a system where if you actually went to school there, like your undergrad, that there is an opportunity to, go to college either free or at a reduced cost. Same system, but it's handled differently.
That's gonna last. That what Governor Cuomo put into action as a result of all of this that has taken place.
Right.
New York started implementing such a system. And you know what that led to? Governor Cuomo getting put out of office because he had a moral issue with some of his people. But what I'm saying is, here's the point I'm trying to make. Everybody's got something in their past that they would not like brought up, okay? And as long as you play ball in politics and government, you don't hear about those things. But when you get out of your place, they're going to dig up something against you to pull you down. So that system in New York may exist, but I bet you anything is going to soon stop. That's just But you're right. Time. You're right, David.
Yeah, I call it giving the dog a bone is what the hell I call it.
Well, I'm like this.
Throwing him a bone. Fuck it.
In politics,
that's what they doing.
In politics, as long as you're playing ball, doing what the major corporations want you to do, you're fine. But let you
take that paycheck.
Step off that path, man. If you cuss the cat in the kitchen, they gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
He hates animals.
Exactly.
Hold up. Hold up. I got the pictures. I got the video.
Yeah.
They took it from your refrigerator. Anyway, speaking of, we're gonna have to get into that. Like, do your refrigerator really need Wi-Fi, bro? We're gonna have to get into the technology craze over here of just ridiculousness. Yeah, bro.
That being said, I'm certain that we all have stuff to do. So we've done a solid hour at this point. So maybe we need to save some for the next show.
Okay. Yeah. David, last words.
No, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys bringing me on. I think you guys have started something special here. So, yeah, just keep up the good work, man. I stay tuned. So you guys are doing well. And like I said, thanks for bringing me on. You need to bring on some of the other siblings though. Bring Sharon.
Bruh. Hey, come on, look. Hey, I'm like, I've already, Dave, can I be honest with you? And this
Yeah.
stay on camera. I hope they hear it. Look, like you had to be the first one just so they could be mad enough. That see, now I ain't gotta ask them. Now they're gonna ask me. See,
There you go. I got one.
yeah.
Everybody's gonna fall in line.
Yeah.